Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are with Sarah. She is from England and she will be sharing with us her life experience, thoughts and feelings. How old are you, Sarah?
I am proudly 70 years old.
70 years old. How was your childhood?
Very stable and secure and loving. Yes, I have happy, secure memories of my childhood.
What did you learn from that stage?
What it means to be in a family. My parents were very traditional and responsible and loving, and I had an older sister and a younger sister, so I was very well placed in the family.
How was your adolescence?
How were what?
Your adolescence?
Easy. I went on to have children, so I know how things can be. But then it seemed to progress very naturally, and I felt I was on a path, and I felt I had control and certainly support.
So in your adolescence, do you have children in your adolescence? Sorry, I lost my track.
No, I know adolescence through my children.
Okay.
Later on.
Yes.
At the time, I thought my adolescence was fine. Also, my older sister had a crazy time, so I came after her and I just sort of sailed through, and my parents had dealt with everything that she brought to the family, and I just came behind and I just did my own thing, and I was good, I suppose, and responsible, and nothing to fight against or anything. So very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
What did you learn from that stage?
I was very lucky. I think I just, I think I knew my own mind from being quite small, and I think I knew myself, and what I wanted. And what I needed. So I think it was okay, and my parents were able, not with money particularly, but because they were loving, they were able to allow me to take my own path.
Okay, so they listen to you, they support you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
How was your relationship with your mom?
Extraordinary. She's here now, across here, just across here, just across there. Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. We had a special relationship because my mother lost a baby, and so she adopted my elder sister because she was told she could never have children.
Okay. And
then, so that was extraordinary. And then my mother had another girl after that. And so, but that's sort of has been my everything.
Excuse me, now that you are saying your oldest sister was adopted,
Yes.
can you explain what kind of problems were in your family, I guess, because that situation was there?
Very complicated. But we were brought up, we were 3 sisters, we had to look after each other, we were all the same. However, Jane had huge problems, but she was lucky because she was brought up by my parents. But very complicated for her 2 sisters. It's a long story. She got into big trouble, and just not so many years ago, I found I could no longer deal with her, and I wasn't helping. I couldn't help, and she always it's very complicated. She is now with a big family, which I know, and she's adopted that family, and she's fine. And my sister and I just sort of keep away. And now my sister and I are very close, but for years it was 3 of us, and it was like that when we got older. But now my sister and I are very close because the dynamics have changed, and so it was difficult. However, as whatever people always say, we didn't know anything other. We had say an adopted. It never felt like that because we were always brought up. But when we got older, it was just too difficult, complicated, and yeah.
How was your relationship with your father?
Well, that is interesting because I loved him very, very much, and he lived a lot longer than my mother. So I actually, at the end of his life, I had a bigger relationship with him. But when we were small, my younger sister was a big athlete, and my father had been a cyclist who used to cycle into Europe and everything, and he adored all the athletics. I was the arty one, so I used to go by, and my father would take her to all these athletics meetings and everything. And I'm not sure, I might have been a bit jealous, except my relationship with my mother was, and I sort of knew she loved the arty side of it and everything. So I was okay, but my father adored all the pennies, athletics and everything, which was lovely for him and lovely for her. So I think I was okay about that. But he didn't understand art. He thought, however, I went to art school, and they had to help with my grant and stuff. And he was proud of me, and he didn't understand why on earth I would ever want to do it. But he was, he was great. Oh no. was a nervous
It's okay.
cough, so maybe there might be something in there. But I loved him very, very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
What did you learn from your mom?
Everything. Everything. She was just so loving and affectionate and honest, and just everybody really liked her. She was such a nice person. And just how generous with her love she was.
What did you learn from your father?
That's I don't know. He was a good father. I learnt from my father to love aeroplanes. He was in the RAF, and he was an aircraft engineer, and that was his job. And he used to take his 3 girls to all the air displays, to all the air and everything, and we had aeroplane models all over the house. And so I even tried to fly. I only had 1 lesson, but yes, So yeah, he was a good man. He was a good man.
How are you doing in your adulthood?
Well, I'm at a very interesting stage. So this is why I was very interested to see what I would say to you, Pat. Because my adulthood has been so strong. I've again followed my path, what I wanted to do. I've been a film and television makeup designer, freelance. My main thing, speciality was, I would film anywhere in the world. So I've been to some bonkers places and worked with local crews in places like Rwanda in the middle of nowhere, and India a number of times, and loved it, and got an awful lot out of my work and managing it and trying to be the best. So my adulthood has been very, very strong, determined. One thing, my mother wasn't allowed to work. My father said she has her family, and so in my head I worked, and it was hugely important to me, my career, hugely important. However, I've now retired.
Sorry, just a little bit. So that make a print on you, that aspect of your father didn't, your mother was allowed to work. So for you, when you saw your mom, she was
unfulfilled.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she would have been a nurse, and she would have been fantastic.
Nurse. She really was.
But she had 3 strong daughters, and we were very supportive with her, and always saying, "Oh, mother, you should be doing this, that." But it was different times.
So you broke that chain.
Yes, and I would say to my young trainees and everything, and to my daughter now, and of course, I don't need to now. But then it was different. So I have had a very interesting time, because I left London after 40 years, and I've been here in Hebden Bridge up north for 6 years, and I have found it curious about evaluating myself, because my job gave me so much strength, and people would come to me, people needed my opinions and my designs and everything. I was needed, and now I'm here and people don't know me at all, and they didn't know what a big job I had, which was a bit odd. And however, when I stopped working, it was great, because I was freelance, I had an agent, and I decided, and I was in between an American series shot in London, and I did the first series, and then I decided to stop working. My husband and I went travelling, and whilst I was travelling, I heard from my agent and from the other job, the director wanted me to come back and do the second series, and I could say very confidently, no thank you for asking, but no thank you. And everybody was so surprised that I could just stop like that. But it was the right decision, it was the right time. But you can work, I have friends much older than me working as makeup designers, because you have a team of young, gorgeous things doing all the... So it's been interesting, and I am finding peculiar things have affected me, because I haven't got all that going on anymore, how it has affected me as a person. And one funny thing that nobody's asked me about, but I now, as you well know, I have got a studio, and in my studio, just for myself, although it will look very peculiar, I have got a vanity mirror, and I need to look into, because I spent more than 40 years in front of a lit mirror. I would work in front, and I would be seeing myself all day for years and years and years and years. And up here, I don't have that, and my chap doesn't like mirrors particularly, so we don't tend to have mirrors. But in my studio, I have, so if ever I just need to touch base, I just have a little look. And no therapy, I did that myself.
Okay.
And it works. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's like a, it's
a little trick.
Yeah. Oh, I'm there.
There she is.
What have you learned from your adulthood until now?
Oh God, still learning, as I say, still getting my head round that. But we had a plan. We did have a plan. We knew, we were both northerners who went to London. We knew when we finished work, we would not want to live in London, but we didn't know where we would live. Fortunately, we've chosen a great place that is working very, very well. So I think to have a plan and to stick to it, because that's what we went off travelling. And we always said no kids. Before we had kids, we said when we finished work, the two of us, just the two of us, would go off travelling. And that's what we did, and spent long periods of time in different places. So I think that...
Planning your...
Yeah, to have a plan. Yeah. And we always, as our relationship, we have planned. And it's invariably involves travelling together, because when we were first, we travelled a lot, like lots of young couples do. and we know we're good when we travel. So we know we have to keep on moving.
What do you do when you are having hard times?
I'm quite good at keeping myself up. I'm quite good, not always. But I write lists.
You write lists?
I write lists, and I just think, and I weigh things up, and I think, what haven't I got now that I want? And what have I got that I've got to get rid of? I'm quite good at working it out with a pencil and a big A3 piece of paper, and I work it out.
Writing what do you want and what you don't want.
Yeah, and now it's a bit of like a sort of timeline, mapping sort of thing. I'll just sort of, and work out what is causing the problem. But now I call myself, I've cut out the makeup bit, and I now call myself an artist. I can get on with my work. I can get on with my artwork, and that keeps my brain clear. If I can keep moving the ideas on, that lifts me above anything, most things. Most things.
If you could change something from your life, what it would be?
No, I wouldn't change my story. I like my story. I love the continuity of it. I met my husband at art school, and we've been together since 1975. And whilst that's had some difficult patches, we've been very lucky, like sort of illness or anything. But I'm finding the present situation very challenging, because it's all working very well. We're here, very happily here, both got our different interests, but he has family responsibilities, and he has a wife who has always worked very hard as a wife with his family, but now they're aged and needing a lot of support, and I want to get on a plane.
Okay. Okay.
Is it true?
Yeah. What is your passion in this life?
Now I can say clearly it's the love for my family, my little family.
That's your passion.
And my artwork.
What does love mean to you?
Belonging. It's your connection. And that's from my mum. That's from my mum. I've got that with me all the time, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
What does forgiveness mean to you?
I think I'm not sure I've had an awful lot to have practiced with. But I think I can forgive. I think I can forgive quite easily, but it has not been tested. I don't feel like I've been betrayed. I don't feel like I've, with a person, say, I don't think I have had that.
Okay. What does fear mean to you?
It just ruins everything. Just destroys. I know what fear is, and it makes you crumble, and you can't be yourself, and you cannot. And the day is just ruined. It's terrible. And again, I have been fortunate in that I haven't been in terrible, terrible situations. But I do know what fear is, and I know what I am frightened of.
Do you love yourself?
Well, this is terrible to say. Fortunately, I love myself very, very much because that is what I'm here for, to be myself and to make the best world. And I think that's okay, because I then can love other people hugely. Because I can. I'm able to.
Okay.
Worn out.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for this
lovely
interview. Thank you for sharing with us your experience in the life. And hope you enjoy this interview, and take please whatever you need in your life to have in your life, and hope see you in the next one. Thank you. Keep well. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.